one or two points of yesterday. By telling the cause and effect are beginningless, birthlessness of cause and effect becomes consequently admitted. How does it become so? Cause cannot take birth from beginningless, nor does effect take birth naturally from that beginningless cause. For that which has no cause has no birth also. Knowledge has its objects, otherwise duality will cease. From the experience of pain, we have to accept external objects. So now he is taking the followers of Buddha to refute. First he accepts what they say. He says that if you don't accept the objects outside, different convictions will not be there. This is one object, this is one object, this is one. And experience of pain will not be there. And duality will cease or will end. So these reasons he gave to tell that Buddha, followers of Buddha rather to say, should accept the objects that which are outside. This proponent told. Now he says, if you accept, now he has removed dualist. Now he brought Buddha. And he says, there are two types of followers. One accepts the outside objects, the follower of Buddha. Another, he says, only by inference we know the objects of the outside. So he says to the first one, if you say that objects are outside, stand on your point. He says, stand on your point. And then he starts refuting. No outside objects. Just now you told, outside objects are there. And he says, if you contemplate, if you discriminate, nothing is there. So in that way, first he has accepted the two followers of Buddha who say that the outside objects are inferred and outside objects are there. Then if you do vichara, discrimination, for that he'll give two very good illustrations. You say, you discriminate, you take a cloth, discriminate what is there, threads are there. What is there in the threads, cotton is there. You separate the cotton, what is there? Nothing is there. So, nothing is produced, no outside object. In this way you should discriminate, then there will be no object outside. So that is the essence of today's class. Otherwise you see, by discussing the commentary, sub-commentary, we will lose the original point. That's why. And that is the way of lecturing also. If you want to explain something, if you are taking a lecture, that means of a particular subject, first you have to tell what subject you want to talk in a nutshell, synopsis. Then going on explaining, taking the support of the 6 points, upakrama, upasamhara, abhyasa, phala, apurvata, arthapatti, upapatti, with these six things, you have to explain why you have selected such a topic. What is the excellence in that? Apurvata, where it is repeated and where it is started. And all these things you should talk only taking the support of the scriptures. Even if you talk Ramayana, even if you talk Bhagavata or Bharata, but first you take the support of the scriptures. Dharmam chara, we wanted to explain through the life of Dharmaraja or life of Rama. So, these 6 points you should show in their life. Upakrama, upasamhara, abhyasa, phala, apurvata, arthapatti, upapatti. That is, upapatti is yukti, logic. Arthavata is praise. And then phala is fruits. And apurvata, excellency. And abhyasa, repetition. And where it is started, where it is ending. And again, after explaining your subject, taking these 6 points, again you have to conclude. What I told, because of these 6 points, it is correct. That's why I have selected this subject. Then that lecture is called a good lecture. Otherwise, we see people talking of Ramayana and Bhagavata, starting somewhere, going somewhere. They never tell, they say, this is taking support of the scripture and this is the purpose of this lecture. These are the fruits, simply. Nowadays, that's why most of the intelligent people, they are going away from Ramayana, Bharata and Bhagavata. Why? What is the support of that? Where from they have started? What they have to learn? These things, never they tell that those who are lecturing, they also will not tell. Those who are hearing, they also don't know. That what I had, but exactly what is happening in the West, I don't know. And this particular point, we have to tell in a nutshell. Afterwards, we have to expand. Again, we have to tell the subject matter in a nutshell. Where from we got? It is the 12th chapter of Gita. 12th chapter of Gita, commentary, it is very clearly written. That's why even Sri Krishna follows this. In the 12th chapter, what is bhakti, he says in the beginning, and even in the end he says. And so, all these points he explains. And Arthavada means praise. At the same time, Ninda also is there, blame. Arthavada includes Ninda also. But in 12th chapter, where blame is there? You have to find out. Yes, klesho degatarastesham avyakta saktaja avyaktaha gatetukam dehavadbhiravapyate. Those who are having body consciousness, for them it is very difficult to contemplate on the all-pervading Brahman. So, better if you are having the body consciousness, follow the bhakti. Now, that is blame. So, all these things, if you find carefully, you will get. So, what is the synopsis of today's subject? First, he has accepted the objects outside. Gaudapada. Why he has accepted? Because he wanted to refute the followers of Buddha. 2 followers are there. Out of 4, 2 he has taken. Bahyarthavadi. They are called Bahyarthavadi. What they say? One particular follower says, outside objects are there. And another fellow says, outside objects are inferred, they are not there outside. So this point he has taken. And again he refutes. First he has accepted and refutes. Why you are refuting? Because he has to conclude his own theory. Only Brahman alone is real. So he says, if you discriminate, if you do vichara, outside objects are not there. He gives the example of the cloth as well as pot. Cloth, what is a cloth? You discriminate. It is only made of threads. What is there in the thread? Only cotton. What is cotton? If you separate the cotton, it is only the product of earth. Then from earth you have to go to again earth, water, fire, breeze, ether, Brahma. So in this way, if you discriminate, nothing is there. See, refutation. So that is the main subject matter of today's class. So finally, what we should have? Yes. Swamiji could not hear what you told.
Discrimination.
So you are present. Discrimination is essential. In reality, a thing is not born. It is only knowledge. Who says? The opponent. Buddha says, it is only a knowledge. Outside thing is not existing. Then what he says? Knowledge is raging. Why? To refute him. If knowledge is having an object, the convictions cannot be many. If you say knowledge is one. So then if you accept knowledge as one, there will not be many convictions in the day-to-day world, in the relative world. So for that he is giving the proof. Anyatha dvayanashada. Knowledge has its objects, since otherwise it brings about the destruction of duality. Why? Many convictions will not be there in the relative plane. If you accept only knowledge, why? The second follower of Buddha says, only knowledge is there, outside objects are not there, and we infer that outside objects are there. So he has to refute him, and he refutes both at a time. For that, he says, first you should accept outside object. How? You are feeling pain, and many convictions will not be there, so you have to accept, he says. Besides from the experience of pain, the existence of external objects is upheld by the system of thought of the opponents, is admitted. That's why clearly he says, the system of thought of the opponent is admitted. Why? To refute. We are admitting your thought. Why? We want to refute you. So the experience of pain born from fire, agridaha, cannot be logical. If you don't accept outside objects, this is not logical. Sankleshasya upalabdhesya. From other doctrines, there are the objects outside. Its existence is accepted. Its existence is accepted by the proponent. Other doctrines, they do accept that outside objects are there. That we are admitting. He says, Uktaseva. Uktaseva arthasya dhridikaranachikeshaya punar akshipati. A further objection is being raised with a view to strengthening what has been said already. What are the duality he has accepted, which has been told by the Buddhists. That is, outside objects are there. In reality, things are not there, and their birth has to be confirmed by removing future doubts. Now, this is the proponent. He says, in reality, things are not there, and their birth has to be confirmed by removing future objects. First he says, we have to confirm the birth of the objects. Why? Some future doubts may come to refute them. From that, he is raising the doubt from Bahyarthavadin. So, he is raising a doubt and is accepting. Accepting what? What the two followers of Buddha, that outside objects are there, that he is accepting. Bahyarthavadin. The outside knowledge, and again he says, outside knowledge is refuted. Sabdadi. Prajnanam prajnapti sabdadi pratitis tasya sannimitatvam. This outside knowledge is refuted by whom? By the follower of Buddha. Prajnanam prajnapti, he says, only experience is there. Sabdadi pratitis tasyaha sannimitatvam. Nimittam karanam vishaya iti etat sannimitatvam savishayatvam swatma vitirikta vishaya vishayata iti etat pratijani mahe. Now, you follow the English, then you understand better. Prajnaptihi. Prajnapti, knowledge, experience of sound, etc. It has a cause, an object. Thus, sannimittattva means that knowledge has an object. That is to say, we admit that apart from the subjective aspect, knowledge has also an objective existence. We accept in the sense proponent is telling. We accept. Then what? Afterwards he says, Nahi nirvishaya prajnapti sabdadi pratiti syat. Without an object you cannot have the knowledge. Sannimitatvat, because there is a cause. There can be no experience of sound and the like without objects. Since such experiences have their own causes. Otherwise, nahi nirvishya prajnat sabdadi pratiti syat tasya sannimitatvat anyatha nirvishayatve sabdasparsa nila pita lohitadi pratya vaichitrasya dvayasya nashato nasho abhava prasajyeta. If you don't accept the cause for the presence of an object outside, duality will end. That is telling. Otherwise, in the event of absence of objects, it will bring about the destruction, absence of duality, consisting in variety of such experiences as sound. What is duality that he is explaining? Sound, touch, bluish, pinky, reddish, etc. Nor can it be held that duality consists in a variety of experiences that do not exist. Now we cannot say that duality is not existing. For these are directly perceived by the dualist, as well as you are also seeing. So you can say you cannot say only knowledge is there, outside objects are not there, it is inference. No, you have to accept. Hence, because of the experience of duality, existence upheld by the system of thought of the opponents. Now again he is telling, you see, existence upheld by the system of thought of the opponents, existence of eternal objects apart from their knowledge is admitted. Besides the knowledge, there is the object. Without the object, there cannot be the knowledge of a object. And knowledge is not one, because we are having so many convictions. So, in the relative plane, you have to accept duality and outside objects also. That proponent is telling. अन्यथा निर्विषयत्वे शब्दस्पर्श नीलपीत लोहितादि प्रत्यय वैचित्रस्य द्वयस्य नाशतो नाशो अभाव प्रसज्येत न च प्रत्यय वैचित्र्यस्य द्वयस्य अभावो अस्ति प्रत्यक्षत्वात्. Because we are having the direct perception, you cannot say that there is no object. प्रत्यय वैचित्र्यस्य द्वयस्य दर्शनात् परेषां तंत्रम परतंत्रम. Paratantra means what the others are accepting. Iti anya shastram, not our scripture, anya shastram. It is this. Tasya paratantrasya paratantras ashayasya bahyarthasya jnana vyatiriktasya astita mata abhipreta. We do admit. Mata abhipreta means we do admit. That's why even in Gita, again and again this word comes, iti me mataha. Krishna says, this is my doctrine. Like this. So like this he is telling. Now, sub-commentary. The belief of Sakarvada. Sakarvada means so many colors, sound, touch, etc. Sakarvada as knowledge is refuted. As knowledge is refuted. Why? Because the opponent is accepting only the knowledge, not the object. So, he says, no, you have to accept objects. Knowledge need not depend on an object. So, besides self, there is no object. The opponent itself is telling. If you question like that, the answer is given. Nahi. A cause should be there to know an object. Now you see, he is bringing the object into the scene with some reason explaining the with some reason you have to accept that there is an object. If knowledge is there, object is there. That is, the outside objects are there because of various convictions. The knowledge by nature is different as convictions that cannot be ascertained unless different objects are accepted. So he is telling, you cannot say only knowledge. Knowledge in the sense, the Bodha says, Vijnana, experience, that is through mind only. He is accepting only the mind. Further he is not going. Pragyapti, he says, experience. Experience is through the mind. So, you cannot say that only the pragyapti is there, knowledge is there. Objects also you have to accept. The objects different among them and themselves. Then the difference is due to limiting adjuncts. Why you find so many objects? Because of the limiting agents are different. Besides, the outside objects are there. They do not accept the different adjuncts. One fellow says outside objects are there, but they don't accept the different adjuncts. Through inference, he says outside objects are there, but we don't accept the different adjuncts. That means he is not accepting. Because you see, the followers of Buddha, two fellows are there, those who accept the outside objects. One says, I do accept the outside objects. What other says, I only infer, there is no outside object. For them, for the other, he is telling this one. They do accept, some of them they accept the outside agent, some of them they don't accept. So beside the outside objects are there, they do not accept the different agents. Says outside objects are there. To inference we know, but different agents are not there. That is, Buddha says. Buddha follows the Buddha. Huh?
But if an object is there, the object itself is a limiting agent.
But he is not accepting, that is his will. How can we say? Huh? Say, he says, you see, I am having a tongue, I am having a mouth, I am speaking from mouth, from my side. Who are you to control my mind or my tongue? Argument. Huh? I can tell 100, say, untruth words. Because I am telling from my side, you cannot catch my tongue. That is their argument. He accepts. We do accept. That's why first he makes them accept. And then he says, you stand on this particular point. That outside objects are there. Then he starts refuting. But so many ignorant people are there, they do accept. But the intelligent people never accept the object of outside by discriminating. That is coming slowly. He says, there Mirabulan, a small fruit, a small fruit is there. At best, it may be, say, 1.5 inches, or some bigger qualities is there, 2 inches. You catch hold of that one, your bowels will be cleared. That's all. Just catching that. So, like that, they found it. This is useful for. So, one fellow says, I have seen that particular fruit. It is 100 feet lengthy. 100 feet. Arey, why you are telling such an untruth word? Then he says, I am talking from my mouth. Who are you to control me? Satahasta haritaki. He says, it is just 2 inches. He says 100 feet length. Like that they are having, because they always say, they go round in their mind and in their thoughts. That's why. Trifla. So, Harad, Mirabulan. What do you call? Haritaki. Mirabulan or Mirabulan? What? Mirabulan. Haritaki. Harad. In Hindi, they say Harad. Now he is going further. Obtaining the outside objects is proved. Outside objects are proved by proponent. And who is the opponent? Followers of Buddha. 2. Upalabhyate. So, nahi pragyapte prakash matra swarupayaha nilapitadi bahyalambhana vaichitra mantarena swabhava भेदेन वैचित्र्यं संभवति स्फटिकस्य ताउंडाले ठाउंड स्फटिकस्य वा नीलादि उपाधि आश्रयैर विना वैचित्र्यं न घटते since knowledge by nature consists in mere illumination there cannot be any variety in it that is brought about by natural diversification. Without the variety consisting in the external support, such as blueness, pinkness, just as a crystal can have no variety without its dependence on such limiting agents as blueness, etc. This is the idea. He says, when I say only knowledge is there, it is like crystal. Whatever object you bring before that much color will come. So, we accept only the knowledge. That he says, But by the two things are there, different convictions and the experience, putting the hand in the fire. Because of these two points, you have to accept outside object. Itasya పరతంతాశే బాహ్యార్థస్య జ్ఞాన వ్యతిరేకస్య అస్థిత. అక్కడ రెండు గీతలు ఉన్నాయి. అస్థిత ఒక గీత ఉండాలి. జ్ఞాన వ్యతిరేకస్య అస్థిత. దిస్ అస్థిత, దేర్ ఆర్ టూ లైన్స్ ఆర్ దేర్. వన్ లైన్ షుడ్ బి దేర్. అస్థిత బిఫోర్ అస్థిత. సంక్లేషణం సంక్లేషో దుఃఖం ఇత్యర్థః. External object which is upheld by the system of thought of the opponents, which stands apart from knowledge, has existence on account of the samklesha, which is the same as samkleshanam, and which means pain. Because they feel pain, they have to accept the outside object. Upalabhyate hi agnidahadi nimittam dukham. Pain on account of burn from fire, etc. is experienced. यदि अज्ञादि बाह्यम दाहादि निमित्तम विज्ञान व्यतिरेक्तम न स्यात्. अच्छा, व्या ఉండాలి. या వ్యతిరేక్తం. In our childhood, we used to say, some students will be getting more marks, some will be getting less marks. So, the second person says, because he got less marks, he gives the reason. In olden days, the papers, they used to send to the home of the teachers. Afterwards, because so much of disturbance is there, the teachers were called to the university, and in one particular place they should sit and they should correct the examination paper. So, but in our childhood it was not like that. They used to send to the teacher's house. So that fellow says, and the other fellow also says, I got so many, why you got less? See, while he was correcting the paper, he has a quarrel with his wife. That's why, because of anger, he has put less marks. Like that, now he says something, well, composing, some mistake he did. Why he has, something must have happened.
There are more, so this 3 paragraphs.
That is all right. अज्ञादि बाह्यम दाहादि निमित्तम विज्ञान व्यतिरिक्तम न स्यात् ततो दाहादि दुखम नोपलभ्यते. Pain on account of a burn from fire is experienced. If, apart from knowledge, there is no external object such as fire to cause a burn, one would not have experienced the pain arising from the burn. So, you have to accept. Upalabhyate tu atastena manyamahe asti bahyo artha iti. Na vijnana matre sanklesho yuktaha. Anyatra adasyanaditya bhiprayaha. So simply if you say, I accept only the knowledge, I don't accept the outside objects, it is not correct. You have to accept. One should not have experienced the pain, but it is experienced by all. Hence, from this experience it is admitted that there exists an external object. If there was mere knowledge only, pain is not possible. For it is not felt elsewhere, where there is no fire to cause a burn. This is the drift. Suppose, if there was mere knowledge only, pain is not possible. For it is not felt elsewhere. See, experience is telling. Suppose if you apply good chandan on the forehead, nothing is burning. So that he is pointing out. What he says? He says, if there were mere knowledge only, pain is not possible. For it is not felt elsewhere. When you apply chandan, you don't feel any pain. So, by that what you are concluding? He says, only knowledge alone is there. That what you are saying is not correct. Vijnanavadi actually is not Vijnana, Vijnanavadi is called. He accepts only knowledge, but not outside objects. He says outside objects are inferred. The fourth man, he accepts the outside objects. So now this Vijnanavadi is refuted. He has to take the four. Now one follower is accepting the outside objects, another is not accepting. So he made him accept through the argument. Now he says, you stand there. And he says, I am refuting. How you are refuting? No outside object. It is never born. So Brahman alone is real. Convincing through argument. Atra uchyate. With regard to this, the reply is being given. Pragyapte sannimittatvam mishyate yukti darshanan. Nimittasya animittatvam mishyate bhuta darshanan. In accordance with the perception of the cause of knowledge, the latter, that is Bahyarthavadi, is deemed to be based on external objects. Is deemed. But from the point of view of reality, the external cause is regarded as no cause. The external cause is regarded as no cause in reality. That is telling. Now, from the experiences, convictions are many. From the experiences in the relative plane, convictions are many. Feeling of happiness and sorrow from the objects, that is also felt. So, outside objects are accepted. If outside object is there, let it be. What is of that? No, the opponent is telling. You say, outside object is there, let it be. Bahyarthavadi, prapte vijnanavadi is refuting him, meaning of this sloka. So, in accordance with the perception of the cause of knowledge, later is deemed to be based on the external object. But from the point of view reality, this is Vijnanavadi. That is, two are there now in Buddhists. One is accepting the outside objects, another is not accepting. So, those who are not accepting, he is telling. What he says, but from the point of view of reality, the external cause is regarded as no cause. You are telling to accept that outside object is there because many convictions and pain and sorrow you feel. But we say without cause it cannot be, no outside objects, because he is called, that is Bahyarthavadi. And this is Vijnanavadi. Vijnanavadi means only knowledge is there, experience is there, nothing else is there, he says. The duality is based on logic, not simple appearance alone is accepted. So, the duality is based on logic. It is not simple appearance. The reasons you gave, all right, we do accept. What you say, that outside object is there, for that you have given two reasons based on logic. That is, many convictions are there. If only one knowledge, many convictions cannot be there. And another thing, you feel happiness and sorrow, pain and pleasure. This also concludes that outside object is there, not only knowledge, vijnapti. So now two he has put in one group. What? One accepting the objects, another accepting only the experience. So now he made him that you should accept the. Now he says, what he says? The reasons you gave, stick to it. We take the support of reflection. Now, proponent has come to refute Vijnanavadi and Bahyarthavadi of Buddha. What is Bahyarthavadi? He is accepting the objects outside. What is Vijnanavadi? He is accepting only knowledge but not outside objects. So, the Vijnanavadi is convinced that outside objects are there. Then he says, stand there. Don't stir your mind. You have to take your point strongly, stick to it. He says, then why we want to refute you, both of you? The reasons you gave, stick to it. We take the support of reflection. Vichara. What we take? Discrimination. So, when the disciple has asked the great master, Lord Shankaracharya, how to overcome this world, these difficulties, these sorrows, then take the support of discrimination. Vichari eva sadhu. In Prashnottari, the 32 slokas are there. I think the very first sloka gives the answer, vichara. So, now what Gaudapada says, taking the support of discrimination, we refute both of you. Both of you are not correct. Then what is wrong? The opponent is asked, what is wrong? Explaining the second half, he gives answer. The part, etc. are seen are not there when the perception of reality is there. How? Part, etc. are not there. He says, how? Bruhi kim tataha, tell me. No. First. Bhadamevam pragyapte sannimittatvam dvaya sankalesha upalabdhi yukti darshanadishyate tvaya stiri bhava tavatvam yukti darshanam mostuna tathatva abhyapagame karam. True. In accordance with the perception of the cause of the knowledge consisting in the experience of duality and pain, it has been postulated by you that knowledge has an external object. Now, stick to your own position that the external subject provides a cause to have an experience as it is. Then tell me what if I stick to it? The opponent is asking, Uchyate, we are telling, Nimittasya pragyapti alambana abhimatasya ghatader animittatvam analambanatvam vaichitya ahetutvam ishyate asmabhihi. We will say, according to us, this is proponent, Siddhanti, Gaudapada, The cause such as a jar which is regarded as the basis of experience is not a cause. It is not the basis or cause of variety. Why? On account of the perception of reality, that is the supreme reality, suddenly jumps. No reality, no relative reality, supreme reality. From the standpoint of supreme reality, nothing is there. When clay, which a jar really is recognized, a jar cannot exist as different from clay. Unlike the buffalo, which exists as different from a horse. Unlike, he says, opposite illustration he says, not like that. Pot is only clay. Nor does a cloth exist as different from the yarns, nor do the yarns exist as different from the particles of cotton. The meaning implied is that if reality of thing is thus inquired into successively until words and notions are exhausted, we do not come across an external cause. So, discrimination. He says reflection. Previously what I told, an illustration I have given you. We give many types of toys to the children. Say you have given a very good car, latest model car toy. What he does, he plays with that, and at times he puts that thing like this, something he does. After a few days you ask him, where is your car? It has broken. What happened? Every part is separated, steering separated, mission separated, dome separated, seats are separated, everything is separated, wheels are separated, so no more car. That is for him is a play. But for us, we have to discriminate. What is this body? Combination of elements. Separate them, both subtle and gross. What remains? Only one thing, the base. Bas. Over. Vedanta. Nahi gatho yatha bhutam mrut pradasane sati tad vyatirekena asti yatha swanmaya patova tantu vyatirekena tantu tantavascha amsu vyatirekena ityevam uttara bhuta darshanam asabda pritte nirodhat naiva nimittam upalabhamahe ityartha. How long you have to discriminate? As long as the words and notions are exhausted.
The word alambana stands for support.
Support. Alambana. Support. Again I am reading, because after this again we have to go to the sub-commentary. We will say, according to us, the cause such as a jar which is regarded as the basis of experience is not cause. It is not basis or support or cause of variety. Why? On account of perception of reality, of the supreme reality. When the clay, which is a jar, really is recognized, a jar cannot exist as different from clay. So,
What I'm trying to ask Swamiji is, for the English translation using the word cause regarding to the object. But if I understand correctly, Swamiji, there is a perception here.
yes,
There is a subject
and object.
and an object. The subject perceives an object. So in this perception, the object is an alambana. No?
Support.
So the question is, should we use the word support for the object or the word cause?
Cause is, see, we can say, but To see an object, we should have some support. Without the object, there will be no action. Previously also, I gave an illustration. If you put the mirror before your face or a particular object, you see the object in the mirror. But if you turn the mirror to the clear sky, what object is there? No object. We don't see any object. In the same way, here, to see an object, a support is necessary. To see an object in the mirror also, a support is necessary. So instead of telling cause, we can see the object when a support is there. We can say.
Swamiji is asking,
That's-
instead of cause, support is the better word.
Support will be better.
Yes.
The mirror is the mind. So when we see an object in the mind, support is the external object.
Yes. So, if there is no external object, it is turned to Brahman. No impression in the mind. Not even Brahmakar Vritti Aham Brahmasmi. Nothing is there. Then we are in our own selves. For that only the Swamiji gave this example. As long as objects or impressions are there in the mind, you see an object in your mind. That means whom you are going to ask whether mind is pure or not? Nobody. We have to know by our own selves. So, uddhared atmanatmanam. Then, if somebody asks, have you completely realized? Then what is your answer? See your mind and say. If some bad impressions are there, you can simply say, I can not yet realized. If you are completely merging, no impression for a long period, not for a short period, for a long period, for many years. That's why I give the Avadhuta example, we have given illustration. What after 12 years, he says, he got angry. And in what is that Muni's name? He was sitting in the water and doing penance for many years. One particular Rishi was there, he was doing penance, sitting inside the water for many years. When he has opened the eyes, Kandarpa Rishi. So, when he has opened the eyes, he saw the male fish and the female fish, and he got a desire. And that by the time he has become very old, he goes to the king, you give me in marriage one of your daughters.
Yes, 50 daughters.
50 daughters. And he is old man. Then he says, the king, he is in a dilemma. If I say no, he may get angry. If I say yes, my daughters will get angry. So what to do? Then he says, you go inside. Whichever daughter selects you, you marry. And this Rishi is very intelligent because he has done so much of austerity. So he has changed his form as a young youth. So everybody wanted him only. So all the 50 daughters goes with him. Kandarpa Rishi.
Shavana has only one wife.
Achha. So, the desire should not be there for a long, long period. Not even a single impression. All these years think and think only one thing. I am Atman, I am Brahman. There ends the matter. A little this side, that side.
Regarding his story and regarding that person that has realized the self, how would he know? Who will tell him?
Nobody will tell him, nobody.
Yes.
One has to know by himself.
So Swamiji, some some lessons ago, um, I asked a question about Ati Ashrama.
Atyasama.
Then it was pointed that in Shvetashvatara Upanishad, I think 12th mantra or so, the Ati Ashrama in the commentary, in the Bhashya, the Ati Ashrama is explained. And there in the commentary, Adi Shankaracharya says that the person which is beyond the four ashramas is the Paramhansa Sannyasi. And can Swamiji elaborate a little bit? What do we mean by a Paramhansa Sannyasi?
See, actually, this word was taken from a swan. So what this swan does? It separates milk and water. So a Hamsa Sannyasi, he is like a swan, and he is having discrimination. But a Paramhamsa Sannyasi, after discriminating, he has given up the world and lives only for God. That is called Paramahamsa. That means he may not realize, but he lives for that. While talking about Buddha, we told, Sariram va patayami, karyam va sadhayami. I will leave the body or I will realize. So, now, even Sri Krishna says, Swalpam apyasa dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. In this particular path, even if you follow little things, few things, you will be having highest results of realization, slowly. So, in India, we use Paramahamsa Parivrajaka. That means he is living only for the realization, taking the support of Sravanam Anananidhi Jhasana. So in that, if there is no obstacles, he will realize. If some obstacles are there, just like Vamdeva Jadabharta, he may have to take one or two more bus. But he is, and he is called, say, we can say, the actual mumukshu. Actual mumukshu. But now, another point may raise. Sri Ramakrishna, a Ramana Maharshi, also they were called Paramahamsa. Their state they have already realized. We are on the way to realize. They have achieved their goal. We wanted to achieve our goal. So, from the future aspect, we are called sannyasis, Paramahamsas. Not from the present aspect. So, we are all called sannyasis or Paramahamsas from the bhavi vritti, from the future aspect. But how they are called Paramahamsas? They have realized. So they are called Paramahamsas. We are on the way. We will be in this life, in next life. So this is called, these are all called actual aspiration is there for realization, actual aspirants for mumukshu in the real sense. So they categorize the aspirants, siddha, already realized. They give illustration, Narada, Sukadeva, Vyasa, Shankaracharya, and this Ramana Maharshi, etc., etc., etc. But then he calls mumukshu. They might have reached the goal or they may be on the correct path. If you sit in a plane to go to London, you will reach. You are sitting. Huh? Where you are going? London? I'm going to London. Hmm? So, we are on the way, but we have already sat on the plane. So, we are should to reach. But they have already reached. So, in their way also, the same word, bhavi vritti, it is called in Sanskrit. We are also called Paramahamsas because we are on the way. And that is called mumukshu. What is the third category? It is called Mahatman. That is having a large heart, he says. Mahatman. A Mahatman is a householder. He is accepting all the scriptures, all the Vedas, and exactly following the stage of life as told by the scriptures. So he is called a Mahatman. And because of that, his mind gets purified, he will be getting discrimination and dispassion, and slowly he will be giving up the world, and he comes to this line, sannyasi line. And the fourth category is called mumukshu, and actually is only called, see, that the Sanskrit word I am forgetting, they are worldly people. Palmer, they are called Palmara. So for this fourth class, he has written all the Puranas. So, Paramahamsa in both the way, it is Paramahamsa. Those who have realized, those who are on the path of realization, but those who are exactly following the path for realization, with full discrimination, with full dispassion, and always doing Shravana Manana Nidhyasa, nothing else. Sannyasa Shravanam Kurya. So they are also called Paramahamsas.
Vartamana Samitya, Vartamana Vadva. That
Yeah.
is in near future, but very near to the present, is also called as in present. If someone is going day after tomorrow, we say, yes, I am going. We will not say, I will be going. He generally uses in English, I am going, even though he is going day after tomorrow. So there is a sutra in grammar, Vartamana Samitya, Vartamana Vadva. So that which is near in the present is also called as present.
As the present. Where are you? Oh, I have already reached. I am in the ashram. They say, it is something like that.
Even though he is at the gate, but he will say, yes, I have reached the ashram. Or even though he is at Atlantis, he will say, so Vartamana Samitya, Vartamana Vadva.
That is the grammar. So it is clear, Swamiji? Paramahamsa?
Yes, Swamiji, one more question.
Please, we are very,
Eager to know your questions.
at least we are very, yeah, we are not enjoying, we will say, we are very blessed that you are asking this question, so we are also knowing it. So actually, you are asking for others. I always feel that it's not for you, your sake you are asking for ourselves. This is what I told to Swami Brahmananda. So thank you.
Swamiji, why Paramahamsa sannyasis don't have a danda?
They don't have the danda, that's why they call Paramahamsa sannyasis. If they have danda, then they are called Hamsa sannyasis.
Why is it so?
They say that they don't see, whenever you keep a danda, some rituals you have to follow. And these dandi sannyasis, there is a concept, only the upper class is eligible to take that particular sannyasa, dandi sannyasa, Brahmins.
Upper class means which? Brahmins.
Brahmins.
Out of the four classes, Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and the fourth one, only Brahmins can take the danda sannyasa.
But nowadays everybody is taking danda. That is it. So, and they follow so many rituals also to maintain the danda. They should not keep below. and every day they should open that and do some puja and all these things. And so many other rituals, some of the rituals. So this is called Hamsa. And that rituals also you don't want to do. That's why it's called Paramahamsa.
Paramahamsa is beyond the Hamsa. When he is having the danda, when you see, it also has a cover inside. So inside that cover, he has the tuff and the sacred thread, Yagyopavita, along with the danda. So while taking sannyasa, the Paramahamsa leaves it in the flowing water, either Ganges or ocean or whatever. But the Hamsa, the Dandi sannyasi, keeps the tuff and the Yagyopavita. So as Swamiji said, he needs to perform some rituals. So when you reach at that mental level of maturity, so Paramahamsa even gives away the tough and sacred thread.
In the flowing water.
So here we are talking about the Paramahamsa level of Swamiji has said that Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and all those levels, Shankaracharya and all those things. Of course, Shankaracharya has done the only because he was the establishing of these four matters and all those things.
No, he was a Paramahamsa. You see, Sri Ramakrishna took sannyasa. He is called a Paramahamsa. But because of the mother was living, he never took ochre clothes. He was always in whites. That means you cannot tell that he is not a sannyasi. He is a brahmachari. How can you tell? No, it is something like that. To give the others some example, they do. But in the end, when he goes to Kedar, who? Lord Shankaracharya, he gave the danda behind the temple and walked alone towards the mountains, and suddenly has become Lord Shiva, and from the Kailas, Nandi comes, he sits there. That what they say in the Shankara Digvijaya. That means Lord Shankara, the Shiva has become the Shankara. That's why towards the end, he has assumed the form of Shiva and went to Kailas. That's what they say.
But Paramahamsa cannot become a Shankaracharya because he has given up all the rights and authorities. Only a Dandi sannyasi can become a Shankaracharya.
And all these 4 mutts that we are having in India, Dwaraka, Puri, and Joshimath and Sringeri, they have to perform so many rituals. From morning till 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, they will be going on doing so many puja.
Shankaracharyas themselves.
Shankaracharya themselves.
Yeah, because when you say matha, many of them may understand that the matha is performed.
No.
But personally,
Shankaracharya, till we finishes that, he cannot come out. So once we went, this present Sringeri Pitadishwar is there. Before him, another was there, very good. But they are all very learned, no doubt about it. Because they want both. What both? The Aishwarya of the world and as well as realization. That's why they say they perform so many rituals or puja, whatever it may be. And so myself and another, that Santoshananda, that 93 years old Swamiji was telling. So we both went to Sringeri, and it is 1984 or something. So he was sitting up to 12. After 12, I think the Swamiji came out. First he gave some Charanamrita and he asked, what you are, where from you are? I am Kailasa Ashram. What you are reading? I told this a little grammar and logic. You should read logic more. But he is not entering what to do. So he says you should read more.
Even Karpatriji used to do a lot of rituals. There was a Swamiji, very famous Swamiji in Kashi. His name was Karpatri. That was his title people gave him because he used to eat only in the hands. No bowls, no vessels, nothing. Only in hand. Karpatri. Very wise and learned scholarly Swamiji. So So even he used to follow all these rituals because he was a Dandi Sangha.
So where we are?
We are in Paramahamsa Swami.
Increase. No, where we have left? I think we have left here, I think. No. The meaning implied is that if reality of things is thus inquired into successfully until words and notions are exhausted, we do not come across an external cause. This is 485, first para. No, first para. Third line. So, until words and notions are exhausted, we do not come across an external cause, external support. So, for this, now we will be doing sub-commentary. The part, etc. are seen or not there when the perception of reality is there. That is as clay. Perception of reality is explained. The logic shown for pot is shown for cloth also. For yarns also some logic is there. He says the yarns, not do the yarns exist as different from the particles of cotton. And finally, you have to discriminate until what? Notions are exhausted. But the same procedure the followers of logic and Vaisheshika they take. They take going on discriminating. They say they take the clay itself and dividing, they go to Trisrenu, trad. And afterward they say, up to trad only we can see. After that, the Dvinuka is there, that we cannot see. Atoms we cannot see. From the atoms, the world was created. That is their theory. So, it is Arambhavada. It is called Arambhavada. From atoms, the creation is started. But we also discriminate. We discriminate what? That nothing is there. You don't see the atoms. You are not able to see the dual also, dual thing. That is Dviduka. And only he says you can see the triad, Trinuka you can see. What we say is see that which is not seen is not there. It is not in outside as well as in the mind. That's why he says, don't take support from outside. How long you have to discriminate? He says, you have to discriminate until words and notions are exhausted. That is more important. Whereas he always takes the support of the outside things only, the followers of logic and Vaisheshikas. But what we say we have to discriminate until words, not only words, Vacharamana Vikaro Nama, notions, convictions, all the impressions, going on discriminate. Result of seeing with reflection is told. That is, tantavascha amsu vitirekena ityevam uttarottara bhuta darshanam. Does a cloth exist as different from yarns? nor do the ants exist as different from the particles of cotton. Oh, that he is telling. The part, etc., cannot exist different from its cause. So, no different convictions. Now, first he has accepted different convictions. Now he says no different convictions. That to refute the Vijnanavadi. Now, to refute both of them, Vijnanavadi, Bahyarthavadi, first he says you have to accept the objects. But when you come to the Vedanta, reflect and reflect, nothing is there. You have to empty your mind also, not only outside objects. That he says. The part, etc., cannot exist different from its cause, so no different convictions. As parts, so also after convictions, so there is no real base or support. He says, no support at all. Seeing the objects is based on the logic. Seeing the reality is no cause even for cause. He says, no cause even for the cause. You should go beyond the cause. That is called, if you say, now Bhuta Darshanam, he has given here one word. In the last, Tantavascha Amsu Vitirekena Ityevam Uttarottara Bhuta Darshanam. That means, seeing the objects, that you have to go till the objects are exhausted and your notions also should exhaust. That is called Bhuta Darshana. Bhuta means elements. Now he says, if suppose you take the meaning, the Bhuta Darshana as Abhuta Darshana, basic, that is, no elements at all. That also I am explaining. He says, the outside objects are seen because of superimposition. See, Abhuta Darshana, outside objects are not there. Why? He simply says it is superimposition. Rope, just like a snake on the rope, not seeing the base or adhisthana, because you are not able to see the adhisthana, you are telling that it is a snake. Because of not seeing the base, we see objects. So, what is the support for the word Brahman? See Brahman only. Vimataha bahyartho na tattvataha jnanam prityalambanam. Now he is giving the logic. Outside objects are not there. Bahyartham. Na tattvato jnanam prityalambanam. Because you say that we are having so many convictions, that they are there, that is not correct. Tattvato jnanam. What is the reality? If you see from that standpoint, nothing will be there. Bhranti Vishayatvat. All the objects that you are seeing are simply superimposed. That's why outside objects are not there. Because of reflection, we cannot accept what? Outside objects. Bhranti. Everything is only Bhranti. Athava. Now he is giving the other. Athava bhuta darshanat bahyarthasya animittatvam mishyate rajvadoviva svarpader ityartha bhranti darshana vishayatvacha nimittasya animittatvam bhavet. Or it can be read as abhuta darshanat instead of bhuta darshanat. then the meaning is that owing to the apprehension of the unreality of the external objects, what is the apprehension? There is unreality of the outside objects. It is not admitted as the cause of knowledge, because they are not there, they are superimposed. Even as a snake seen on a rope is not also, because the external objects involve a perception of delusion. The cause becomes no cause, and on the removal of delusion, it ceases to be so. For to those who are in deep sleep or samadhi, or who are liberated, there is no perception of delusion. They are not conscious of any external objects apart from the self. See. So, see the self and self alone consciousness, think of it, dream of it, live for it, die for it. Self and self alone, he says. Then he is telling, Bhranti darshana vishayatvacha nimitta sanittatvam tadabhave bhavat nahi sushupta samahita muktanam Bhranti darshana bhava atmavitirikto bahyartho upalabhyate. Outside objects are superimposed, so you don't get any outside objects. Nahi, again, he is explaining with the illustration, Nahi उन्मत्त अवगतम वस्तु अनुत्पैरपि तथा भूतम गम्यते ये तेन द्वय दर्शनम संक्लेश उपलब्धिश्च प्रत्युक्ता. The object seen by a lunatic cannot be seen as such by one who is not a lunatic. Hereby both the perception of reality and the experience of pain are rejected. When there is no object, only self and self alone. So, no pain, no this thing. Jadabharta, Lord Shankara, Dadhichi, so many in recent years, Swami Onkar, I told, he gave his bone. So, if he thinks, I am a body, I am having pain, how can he give 8 inches bone to other? That is.
Because you are sending it away daily, so she has found a new place. She's hiding it. She wants to hear Vedanta, Swamiji. She wants to hear Vedanta.
Analogy, the lunatics are the ignorant people and the non-lunatic is the person that is realized.
Realized, yes. Ignorant and realized.
In one of the previous lessons, Swamiji said, based on the teachings of the Brahma Sutras, the Jivan Mukta lives in 2 rooms. And Swami Shivananda, also when he writes about the Jivan Mukta, he says Jivan Mukta has a pure experience. Pure means, he says, like a person standing in the river up to his waist. From the bottom to the waist, it's cold. From the waist to the top, it's hot. He says, this is how is the experience of the Jivan Mukta. But here he says that he has no awareness or he has no perception at all of external objects. This is only and only the self. So
That is, see, because he is Jivan Mukta, he is having a body. So, at times, he is in contact with the body and mind, and he will be having the experience. Anger, thirst, something. Because he is not completely merged in the Atmana or in Samadhi. So, we told, if an ordinary person goes to Samadhi, he will be there only for 21 days. But the period of Samadhi is a half-an-hour concentration of the mind. But many are there, they had the experience for 1 minute, for 2 minutes, for 5 minutes, for 15 minutes. So, they have not completely merged. Naturally, they have to come out. When they come out, then there will be the 2 stages will be there. So, a Jivan Mukta, though he is going around the world, though he is having all the experiences, his anger and other things are just like momentary. Because suddenly he remembers the Atman. So, there, here itself he told, in Mandukya Karika he is having 2 rooms. That means, Jivan Mukta, he has not completely merged in Samadhi. But he had the experience of Brahman. So, that's why there is a sloka, even if for a moment, if he experiences the Brahman, that he has given up the whole earth to somebody else as dana. And he has taken the bath in all the pilgrim centers, like this is long, and he has appeased all his forefathers, all the gods, everything he says. So, this Jivan Mukta state, that he is not completely merging. If he wants, he can go and give up the body. But because of the experience, and some small desire is there, that he wanted to help the ignorant persons, so at times they come out of the Samadhi and they help others. So both the ways are there. Here if he simply says, the exact word what we have to take is, they are not conscious of any external objects apart from the self. That means, even if they are seeing some object of the outside, they see as self. Even because they are Jivan Muktas. Even if they see some external objects, they are not attached to it. The objects are not going to bind him. So, he sees, but immediately he reflects and it is self. That's why he is not attached. In the life of Swami Vivekananda, a illustration was given of his forefather. His forefather was a sannyasi. So, he was leading the life of Parivrajaka. When he went to some particular pilgrim center, he was taking bath, and when he came out, he saw, because of the heat of the sun and other things, some woman was swooned. She is unconscious. She felt. And then he brings the water and puts her. When she opens the eyes, immediately remembers, oh, she is my wife. So just runs away. He was not staying there. But he has helped her. In the same way, because he was already Paramahansa Parivrajaka, his grandfather, I am telling. Grandfather means he was having a wife. Otherwise, where from Vivekananda will come out? So he is a grandfather, he is having a son, and he was having a wife, but he took sannyasa while in pilgrims, when he was as a Parivrajaka, when he was moving. So he saved one of particular woman, and afterwards he realizes it is no other than my wife. So simply he runs away from that. In the same way, the man of Jivan Mukta immediately goes to the discrimination. That's why he is not attached to anything. That's why he says he is having both the experiences and both the houses, and even while moving in the world, he sees only the Atman everywhere. Sashanti mapnoti na kama kami. In Gita it is told, in the 2nd chapter, when he becomes completely a shock absorber, nothing will disturb him. He is always at peace. Sashanti mapunoti. Na kama kami. Even a little desire is there in him, then he will not get that peace. So, this Jivan Mukta is having such a big shock absorber, nothing will disturb him. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. That's why he says, it is only self, self, self. In both the ways. Apurimanasa. If delusion is not there, outside objects are not there. So, Abhuta Darshana is explaining, if delusion is not there, then no outside objects. Reason is explained, nahi. Nahi, sushupta samahitam muktanam bhranti darshanam. One who is sleeping, one who is in samadhi, he will never see any outside objects. In the same way, when he realizes that all the objects are superimposed, then he will not see any outside objects. Those who are having body consciousness, they certainly see the outside objects, so they see the duality. You cannot contradict. Now opponent is again coming. Those who are having body consciousness, they see the outside objects. Then how can you say that outside objects are not there? Nahi. Then he gave this illustration. A lunatic sees the things in a different way, but not a man of intelligence. For men of knowledge, besides the emotion or feeling of Brahman, besides, nothing is there. That is called Spurana. For men of knowledge, besides this experience of Brahman, seeing the Brahman everywhere, nothing else is there for them. Just feeling. But they are not considering outside objects. Why they are realized? They are not attached. Even they don't care for their bodies. Even if you blame them to the extent possible. Yesterday only you told the example of Sivananji Maharaj. Coming to the room, 40 beats. SB 40. Subis. So, nothing disturbs them. That's why he says, why they are not worried about the body, they are not worried about the thoughts. If somebody says something, just they they don't care for that. But they are not considering outside objects, outside comments, outside blame, or outside praise. They are not worried for anything. Those who see the different objects and objects as real, they have to undergo sorrow. As soon as you make the difference between yourself and an object, you have to face sorrow. That's why Swamiji simply says, attachment is death, detachment is life. See, very simple words. Attachment is death, detachment is life. Previously, I already have explained. It is round about in 1976. We were touring in Mysore. In a special cab we were touring, in a special bus. Many were there. And one foreigner was there. He was having some wound in the leg. So just we have started the discussion. It was started, say, in the noon, 12 o'clock. Then I have not come to even Kailas ashram. Just I came out of the Ramakrishna mission and was staying somewhere outside. So not having so much a background of the scriptures. But we started discussion. Whatever you say, simply says, I don't accept. I don't accept Christ, I don't accept Bible, I don't accept God. And at that time I have not even read this Manduka Karika. But, now 12:30 or 1 o'clock we have started the discussion. It was evening 4. We were taking tea. Because we were in such a hard discussion, the tea we felt is very cold. We were only, our mind is in the discussion and simply with that. And again we came back to the bus. Bus, everything is going on, they sightseeing, everything, but we are in discussion, deeply merged. Evening it was 7:30. Then the best place in the night in Mysore is Brindavan Gardens. Lighting and so many other things are there. But we didn't go down and we started again discussion. Then the driver says, since how long you are discussing? Such a beautiful place is there, go and see. Get down, get down.
He is also listening to the discussion.
But we were in English. He was a Karnataka fellow. So we got down and again discussed. We saw, and finally, the whole sightseeing was over. So I could convince him only on this particular point. Attachment is death, detachment is life. He understood. Tomorrow morning I will come to you for further discussion, he told. Because now it almost, we are parting, we have got down and we have to go to our places. Then he told, tomorrow morning I am going to Bangalore, we cannot meet. So, from say noon, 12:30, 1 o'clock to evening 7:30, 8 o'clock, we were having discussion. So what is the result? Attachment is death, detachment is life. If I would have the background of the scriptural knowledge, within 1 minute I would have. Hmm? So, for men of knowledge, besides the feeling that everything is Atman, nothing is there. Feeling there, but they are not considering outside objects. Those who see the different objects real, they have to undergo sorrow. So, duality or seeing objects different from reality is refuted. The two perceptions, experience of duality and pain, the reason given for the outside objects is now refuted, basing on the experience of the man of knowledge, that is realized person, and basing on the discrimination, contemplation, we refute. Outside objects are not there. And he gave two reasons. If first two reasons he himself gave to convince that different convictions will not be there and pain will not be there. You are experiencing the pain. That's why outside objects are there. Now what he says, when you discriminate, no outside objects. Huh? Everything is simple superimposition. That means now he has completely refuted Bahyarthavada, both the persons. Those who really accept and those who accept by inference. Now other two fellows are there, Kshenikavadi and Sunyavadi. They will come. In day-to-day life, because of the impressions in the mind, a dream, etc., we do experience the sorrow and difficulties. The relative is, that is the relative state. But now, Gaudapadacharya says, the relative is included in the absolute only, no relativity. Because everything is superimposed. Vimato arthaha san na bhavati arthatva sampratipannavat. Now, two, one is opponent, one is proponent. Opponent says duality is there. Proponent says no duality. So how to conclude? Through logic. So this is the Vyamatam. Viparitam pratipattir yesham. You tell something, I am telling something. So how to conclude? Through logic. Artha means objects. Na bhavati. What the proponent says, outside objects are not there because they are objects. As we see the snake on the rope. Outside objects are there, they are not they are only superimposed. So, no support for knowledge. He says, he is Vijnanavadi, he is not accepting the outside objects, but he is accepting the mind, the experience. For him, he says, nothing is there. No knowledge, no object, nothing. Everything is illusion. Vimato artha savishaya jnana janako na bhavati bhranti vishayatvat. When you say knowledge, from the illusion and delusion, how the knowledge will come? We say everything is illusion. Because of illusion. Delusion is there. Huh? A magician has shown so much of magic. What knowledge you got? Magician alone is real. Magic is not there. So, the showing of the magic, the knowledge, that also is not there. Then what is there? Magician alone is there. That is, he says, the mental vibrations. That's why he told, you have to discriminate till all the notions exhaust. When notion is not there, how you get the knowledge? So he says, go beyond knowledge. Knowledge also is not there. One thing alone is real. He concludes like that. Yasman nasti bahyam nimittam ataha. Because there is no external cause, therefore, he is going to tell this thing. Consciousness is not in contact with objects, nor is it in contact with the appearance of the objects. See? Now he is going further. This asango hi ayam purushaha. Taking the scripture, this particular consciousness is not attached to anything. For the object is certainly non-existent, and the ideas constituting the appearance of objects are not separate from the consciousness. Everything is superimposed on the consciousness. That is going to tell. Chittam na sprushati artham bahyalambana vishayam. Since there is no external object, consciousness does not come in contact with any object which forms an external support or in contact with the appearance of the objects, since it is as same as consciousness that is in dream. Consciousness does not come in contact with the appearance in the waking state also. That is says. Chittam. Chittam means consciousness. Here, don't take as mind. Chittam na sprushati artham bahyalambana vishayam. Napi arthabhasam chittatva swapna chittava. Abhuto hi jagaritepi swapnarthavadeva bahya sabdadi artho yatha ukta hetutva. Napi arthabhasas chittat pruthak chittameva hi gatad arthodavabhasate yatha swapne. Since there is no external object, consciousness does not come in contact with any object which forms an external support or in contact with the appearances of objects, since it is as same as consciousness that is in dream. Meaning, as in dream, consciousness does not come in contact with the appearance in the waking state also, as the dream. From the reason cited above, the external objects such as sound are non-existent, even in the waking state, as in the case of an object in dream. Nor is there any appearance of object different from consciousness. The consciousness alone appears as objects like a jar as it appears in dream. So taking the illustration of the dream is completely refuting outside objects. Only one consciousness is there. That he is concluding. Now, the sub-commentary. If you say the knowledge is having a support, but from the absolute point of view, a thing to be known is not there, then knowledge is also not there. When a knower, knowing and known is there, then only knowledge will be there. And only consciousness, then where is it triad? It is not there. Chittam, the feeling of experience is not an object. It says, I am existing. That is not an object. You are existing, yes, As consciousness I am existing. As Brahman I am existing. As Atman I am existing. I am existing. Though you know that you are existing, there the three things are not there. Only two things are there. You are experiencing your own self as existing. That's all. No object is there. You are the knower and you are the object. So only one thing is there. That is called spurti, the feeling, the experience, the oneness. But knowing is having an object. He says, if the action is there as knowing, then object should be there. As we see a pot, then he says, the consciousness is not touching an object because an object is superimposed on the consciousness. A snake which is seen on the rope is in no way connected with the rope. So, previously we gave a lesson to you. What is the lesson? If you want to see a snake, a rope should be there. Without the support of the rope, you cannot see a snake. But the snake is not there in the rope. Brahman should be there if you want to see the world. The world is superimposed. In the world, Brahman is not there. So, Brahman should be there to see the world. Without Brahman, you cannot see the world. But in the seeming world, there is no Brahman. As in the seeming snake, there is no rope. It is only appearance. It is only delusion.
Is the word that we are using to say that the Atman is not attached to anything? Could we use the word Asanga?
Asanga is. Asango hi ayam purushaha. Asanga dite. But as you see a reflection in mirror, then when you say the object is not there, but even then, as we see a reflection in the mirror, abhasa, so with the appearance, if you say like that as reflection, appearance of the objects are there as we see a reflection in the mirror. If you say so, then he says, narthe. Nar is there in appearance of the objects different from the consciousness. See, if mirror is there, you will see the reflection. But if you say the mirror is consciousness, then it is superimposition, then there is no object. The reason is given, abhuta, abhuto hi jagaritepi, abhuto hi jagaritepi swapnarthavadeva bahya sabdarthato yata ukta hetutvat. The outside objects also are not there as in the dream. Yes, more. Vimatam chittam arthabhasamapi na sunsprushati. See, he says, only consciousness is there. Even the appearance cannot touch the consciousness. na samsprushati. Chittatva samprativanna, because it is consciousness. It is by its very nature, it is not attached to anything. So, when you want to know that, first you should develop dispassion, detachment. With the discrimination, you should have dispassion. Why? Because the consciousness is not touched by anything. You also give up, give up, give up, give up. Napi. In the illustration, no appearance. Why not appearance? It is only consciousness. He says. Knowledge is not having support. Now he says, knowledge is not having support because it is only an appearance. If the object is not born, his knowledge will be there. If you say, if an object is not born, then it is all right. If the object is born, then knowledge will be there. For that he says, Napi. From the reasons cited above, the external objects such as sound are non-existence, even in the waking stage, as in the case of an object in dream. Nor is there any appearance of object different from consciousness. So no object at all. The consciousness alone appears as objects like jar, etc., as it appears in dream. So only everything is consciousness and consciousness alone. No object, that everything is superimposed. For that, he reminds what has been told through two logics that we already told. The object is not there. Why? Because it is superimposed, as in the dream. The object, the knowledge of the object also is not there, because it is delusion. It is only delusion because of the illusion. That's why he has concluded that outside objects are not there at all. Only consciousness, only consciousness. By telling this, what he has done? He has refuted the two followers of Buddha. Why? They have accepted the outside objects. One and the another fellow has not accepted the outside objects, but he says, Vijnanavadi, knowledge is there. Now he says, only Atman alone, no knowledge also, no objects, nothing is there. So,